This might be one of the most controversial videos in terms of Pokemon competitive VGC advice, and I made even a packet to talk about it because this might sound like a hot take, but I think I have figured out the best way to get better at playing competitive Pokemon. You know, there are so many players out there are so many YouTubers, so many creators who give you their advice, but how many of those players, you know, are like me and you, where we have a full-time job, or you have a wife and kids, or you're a full-time student and you don't have the time to make Pokemon your entire life. You know, the reality is, for a lot of people like me and you, is that we don't have the luxury to become professional esports players where we have jobs, or we work 9 to 5s, or we have, you know, a life, we have a family to take care of. And I think, you know, this video, I want to show you how I was an average player for so long who loved playing this game, and I went from being a player who would travel to tournaments, not do so well, have a couple of hours to practice, but who loved the game truly, and how I turned into a player who, I went to only 5 tournaments this year. I finished in day 2 and the top 64 out of 4 out of 5 of those with 2 top 8s. I made a couple $1,000s, which is crazy, and I'm competing in the Pokemon World Championships for the first time as a non-professional player, as someone who has a full-time job, who has a family, who has a girlfriend, who has a lot going on in their lives. And what I really wanted to create, I don't know if you see in this video, is the Pokemon Worlds Roadmap, but what I want to call it is a realistic step-by-step journey to qualifying for Worlds. You know, the reason why I made this video and I made this guide is because so many of us have dreams of doing something more than what we're doing, you know. When you all have your own jobs, sometimes you can feel like this is not what I want to do for my whole life. I want something greater. Or when you're in college, you wish you had something on the side. Or we all have these passions that we wish we could have gone all into, you know. When you grow up as a kid, you have these big dreams. I want to be the best Pokemon player ever. I want to be a college athlete. I want to be an astronaut, whatever it might be. But I was playing Pokemon from a young age, since I was 7 years old. And I really discovered what Pokemon VGC was and competitive Pokemon battling was when I was about 19 or 20. And I've done this by watching Wolfie VGC, Wolf Glick, maybe the biggest Pokemon YouTuber of all time. I call him the Magnus Carlsen of Pokemon. And come full circle, I can proudly say that not only have I gotten better at this game, I beat Wolf Glick, the player who made me start playing. And, you know, the reason I share this is because I think all of us deserve to get better at our hobbies, especially one like competitive Pokemon, where we can dream of being the best. We can make money playing this game. You know, we can travel around the world to play a game. We can escape our mundane life to go and enjoy something that feels like we are the main character. Like, before I even go into the guide and what I want to talk about, some of these experiences that Pokemon has gave me in the last year have honestly changed my life. People have come up to me to say hello. People have told me that I'm the reason why they came to a tournament. I was able to beat the best player in human history, Wolf Glick. I was even able to sit on stream and play against a player on stream who, in my top 8 match, who literally won the entire regional the year before. And I got to play a professional player on stream, on a stage, in front of thousands of people, and even hundreds of thousands of people watching online. And this tournament transformed my life. Now I'm making this YouTube channel. Now I'm trying to help more players dream like me, because it's genuinely crazy what this game can do for you. And I know so many of you love this game. You're playing Pokemon Showdown on your phone or on your computer, or when you're at work. You're playing the ranked ladder. You're watching your favorite players play. You're watching regionals play. You're maybe going to local tournaments, or maybe you're brand new and you want to just get into competitive Pokemon because you think it's really, really cool. Well, wherever you are on your journey, I'm telling you that your goals are possible, because I've been in every step. I was a new player to a bad player, to a player who wanted to quit, to a player who was always just missing day 2, to a player who was consistently making day 2 and missing the top cut moments, not being on stream. Then I became a player who I am now, where out of nowhere, I've beaten 3 world champions. I've beaten the best player of all time. I've sat on stream and played a match, and I made 2 top 8s. And more than that, I'm playing in the Pokemon World Championships. So, yeah, I'm making this video for you. I know it might be a little bit of a longer one, but this is one of those late night things where I really wanted to share what I've created. This is an 11-page guide where, you know, I really want to share this information with you. So, again, I really hope you guys enjoy it. If you like the video, that'd be great. But the second page really is, so you want to make worlds. And this is like I wrote this all myself. And if you want this, just type in the word worlds in the comments and I'll send you this, like an e-version of this. You can print out yourself or that you can read online. It's just a quick download. But this, it says so you want to make worlds, right? Like, let's be real. You didn't download this because you kind of want to qualify. You are getting this because you're capable of something bigger. And the reason why you want to make worlds is not because it's cool. You want to make worlds because it means something more. Making the world championships of anything signifies greatness. And in life, as we get older, it's harder to be great, right? Like when you're a kid in school, maybe you can be the best athlete or have the best grades. But nowadays, when we're all having different jobs, it's so easy to get compared to people who are better than us or people who are worse than us. There's no objective way to be great. And to me, Pokemon VGC is a space where I get to be the best. I get to claim to be the best. I get to objectively be great at something, one-on-one, compete, because my brain is able to do that. And, you really want to know, like, this is possible, that you can have these insane moments. Like, I'm telling you, when you are sitting on stream in front of thousands of people playing against a juggernaut of opponent, like, it is one of the most surreal, crazy feelings you will ever experience. When you've officially made money playing this game that we grew up playing, it's a crazy experience. And what I want to tell you about this video is, in this guide, I'm showing you how to do this and how to make worlds, but I'm going to really be deconstructing a lot of common things. For example, I write, this is not about grinding on Pokemon Showdown Ladder until 4 a.m. This is not about copying your favorite players' teams and hoping that they work. This is about me giving you a framework, an actionable framework that will take you from wherever you are to your next step. Because I am telling you, as a normal player who does not have God-given ability, who does not have unlimited money to travel, who does not have an esports sponsor backing my vacations, that wherever your goals are, it's possible. But it's not always what the best players are telling you, because it's like Michael Jordan, if you would know basketball, telling you how to play basketball. Or LeBron James giving you advice. Like, he's a little bit disconnected because he's so naturally gifted and naturally talented. I am like your TJ McConnell. I am like your average player who has muscled it out, who has figured it out, who has taken years to, but I finally got there. So yeah, I made this structure, and what I want to say is that it's really possible. And a lot of you who are in this video might be like, well, why should we listen to you instead of Wolf? Or why should we listen to you instead of Aaron Cybertron Zhang? Why should we listen to you instead of Justin Tang or Michael Kelsch? Well, for one, I'm a good player, man. Like, I made the World Championships. The top 75 players in North America are going to be competing at Worlds, and I didn't finish 75th or 74th or 73rd. I finished in the top 40. I finished 39th. And more than that is I can relate to you. I, again, am not this player who is a full-time Pokemon player. No, I have a full-time job. And I didn't have an unlimited practice group. I started by traveling to Pokemon events with no friends. So if you're a new player with no Pokemon friends, with no one to talk to, I was you. I'm telling you. Like, I did not have insane experience, no. I never get to play an entire season. Like, again, I'm you. And I'm going to give you a little vulnerable. I have it right here, my journey of where I started. But I quit Pokemon playing as well. So not only did I just come in and it kept going like this, I started here and went like this, like this, like this, like this. I was here. And then I quit. And then I came back. And honestly, I'll tell you the story why I quit, because I had a job after college and I was part of massive layoffs. So I went home. And instead of getting another job, I wanted to start a company. You can see this background behind me. I had a podcast before where I would help people get, jobs and internships. And my first try at making a company and a YouTube channel, and it failed. And I tried so hard to make it work that I quit playing Pokemon. I quit for 9 months. And I came back, but I thought, I missed my chance. All my growth is probably gone. I'm making I have a full-time job. I'm now making content. I was helping out my family. I have so much going on. I don't have the time. But in this thing I'm going to show you is that I built something that no one else really taught me, which was a system. And in this video, we're going to be going over that system. So, I stopped listening to bad advice. I listened to what worked for me, what I think would work for me. And I'm so lucky because it worked. And there's 3 parts to it, which we're going to get into. The first part is comfort. The second part is time-efficient practice. And the third part is mindset. So this is page 3. We're going to go to page 4. Where, again, like I really hope this is helpful for you guys. But, you know, like, Worlds is a magical thing. I've never felt it. I've never experienced it. I've been to regional tournaments before. I've been to a couple of international tournaments before. But what is Worlds, right? At least from the outside looking in. To me, Worlds is the Olympics. It's the Super Bowl, right? It's the World Cup final. It's Wimbledon in tennis, the Grand Slam, Wimbledon finals. It's Game 7, right? Worlds is the Ash Ketchum final boss battle of going to the league. Like, that's what Worlds is. It's a stage where players are traveling. The best Pokemon players around the world, out of the hundreds of thousands who play this game, are picked to represent their nation and travel to a Pokemon tournament playing against the world's best. The best from America, the best from South America, from Brazil, from Argentina, from England, to Germany, to France, to Italy, to Japan, to China, to South Africa, to all these amazing, beautiful places around the world. They're all coming together after dueling it out all season to see who's the best. Like, where else can you do this at our point of life, you know? You can't just become an NBA player. You can't become just a random athlete, or this is not possible. But in Pokemon VGC, it is. And, you know, what I really want to do is be around, shoulder to shoulder, to not just the best players in the world, the players I look up to. I want to stand next to the Wolf Glicks, the Joe Ugartes, the Eric Rioses, the players that when I was watching in 2020, 2021, 2022, that I kept hearing about and watching dominate on stream. And not only do I want to be there, I want to prove to myself that I can beat them, that I can hang, that I, at the hardest Pokemon tournament of the world, cannot just compete, but dominate. And that dream of being amongst the world's best and playing on that level is something where, why wouldn't I go for it if I love Pokemon, right? And straight up, this was my Pokemon dream. Like, when I found out I was going to Worlds, I started crying. I'm not kidding. Because I have been ridiculed a little bit part of my life for playing this game, you know. When I was supposed to go to my first ever North American International Championships, I told my parents I was going. We had something happen to our house, and they wouldn't let me go. And then I would keep telling them I'm traveling with my cousin to play at these tournaments. And not only did my parents not support it, they told me that it was a waste of my time, it was a waste of my money, and I should be focusing on my life, right? It was something that I had to hide from everyone. I was scared to tell my girlfriend about it because it's a nerd, you know, it's nerdy. Maybe not be the most attractive thing, but honestly, I didn't care because to me it meant something. And if I can love something after my parents might not be a fan of it, my girlfriend might not be a fan of it at the time, I can't share this with my friends from college. If I can love it that much, to still pay money to do this, spend hours to do this, then it's for me. It's a dream. It may not even feel like it's possible for you. I didn't even think it was possible. But like every dream, you have to go for it. And I want you to know that that feeling is real and it's possible, because after 5 years of playing this game, I'm doing it, and I represent the common players like us. Because it's not about just getting there, right? Because if you listen to all this advice about do this, do that, do this, it's everyone's trying to get into your head about how to do it. They've done it 10 times. For them, it's easy at this point. For me, I'm showing you how to do it the real way, the authentic way, the first time, while living a normal life. So, yeah. And how are we going to do that, right? Well, I created a method for you guys called the CCC method. It is 3 C's. It is commitment, comfort, and consistency. Because this is the actual system that I personally have built and figured out to qualify for Worlds with a job, with a life, with a family, and even content for me on top. So, I'm going to be walking you guys through these 3 things, what the goal is, what it means, and I want to just dive into the 3 of those things, right? So, again, if you have your own guide of this following along, then let me know, because I would love to see if you guys are, doing this with me. But it's so important because phase one, right? Phase one is commitment. So commitment isn't about necessarily quitting your job or quitting your school or saying, I'm going to play 12 hours a day to be the best player, right? It's more about telling yourself that you're going to give this a real shot. So the first thing you have to do, follow along with me, is pick a goal. And you might say, I want to go to Worlds. Well, that's a great goal. And if that's your goal, great. But what I consider a goal is your next step. So what is your goal? Is your goal to make a new friend playing this game? Is your goal to play at a local tournament? Is your goal to win a local tournament? Is your goal to be a top 100 on the ranked ladder? Is your goal to be top 100 on Pokemon Showdown? Is your goal to go to a regional championship? Is your goal to day 2? Is your goal to top cut? Is your goal to win a large tournament? And then, of course, again, is your goal to be the best player ever and go to the World Championships? Well, whatever your goal is, feel that, right? Because that's what dreams are for. You have to have something to aim for, something to push for, something that when you think about it, it motivates you, right? And I have this exercise for you. You might think it's cringy, but I don't care about cringy at this point in my life anymore, especially when it comes to Pokemon, right? So I did this exercise and it worked. So do this, follow along with me and just trust me when I'm telling you. Close your eyes. No, they're not closed yet. I'm serious. Actually close your eyes. Ready? Think about your goal right now. What does achieving this goal feel like? Feel that emotion, right? Let it soak in. Imagine it coming true. Actually visualize, think about this. Look at the colors. What are you seeing around you, right? What did this moment look like? What was your entire season? What did the season up to this point look like? What happened? I want you to right now imagine every single moment as it's happening. Winning your matches, beating a top player, holding the trophy. If this is what you want, feel it. Because you have to know that this is something that you're going to be willing to go and chase. And if that's the case, then lock the F in. Because it's so possible. For me, I did this exercise, and I imagined sitting on stage, playing against a top player on stream in a top cut match, qualifying for the World Championships. And I felt it. I felt the crowd watching me. I felt that pivotal turn, winning it right. I felt, oh my God, I made Worlds. What did that feel like? I did this exercise, and I'm not kidding. I manifested it years later because just a few months ago, all of this happened for me. And what I need you to do now is commit. So lock in, believe in yourself, and now tell yourself, I'm going to go for this goal, right? Tell yourself that. Are you committed? Let me know in the comments if you are. Actually let me know. Because what I want you to do now is think about what's happening next, right? Count how many months you have until your season ends or your new season is about to start. For many of you watching this video, this might be right when I post it. This video might get only 100 views. Who cares? I don't really care. But right now, it's in the middle to end of July. It's 11 p.m. right now. And I need you to think about, okay, well, I'm not playing in the World Championships, but the Pokemon VGC season is going to be starting next month, right when Worlds ends. And there's 1 month until Pittsburgh, the very first regional, a couple of weeks until Frankfurt in Germany. You have to think about, okay, what am I going to do, right? My advice to you is, I personally, if you can see on my camera, I'll move it over, is I have a calendar over here, right? The orange stickers are the Pokemon events that I'm going to be going to. So what do I want you to do is get out your calendar. Whether it's on your phone, whether it's Google Calendar on your computer, whether you have a calendar book, I have one book over there, or whether it's that right there, a big ass calendar. Get out your calendar, but then also pull out the official VGC calendar because you have to plan, right? Making Worlds is not something you can just do. You can't just go randomly. You can't do that, right? You have to understand what events you're going to be going to. You have to understand what international events you're going to be going to. Cheaper flights, better practice. You have to do all of these things, right? Because As the season goes on, there will be local tournaments coming up. There will be online global challenges coming up. But you have to be able to control your controllables. What events you're going to go to? Can I buy cheap tickets now? Because if you're like me, you have a full-time job, you have to consider I can only leave on Fridays after work or Thursdays, and I can take off on Friday. You have to think about all of these things and organize it so that way your mentality is also taken care of throughout this process. Like anything hard in life, it's going to be really fun, but it's not going to be easy. And if you can make certain things easier along the way so you don't have to worry about it, that's going to make your experience a lot better. So if I'm you right now, I'm going on Pokemon VGC 2026 calendar, and I'm saying, okay, I want to go to this regional, I want to go to this one, I want to go to this one, I want to go to this one. Figure out which ones you're going to. My advice is going to victoryroadvgc.com or the event locator when locals start again in the next month or so. If they're happening right now, to the event locator, which is where you can actually find local events as well as the larger or regional events that will be coming up. Okay, so now you know what events you're going to be going to. Well, not even that. Now you're locked in. You're committed. You have circled the dates on your calendar. You've put them on your calendar for next season. Now you have to sort of schedule yourself practice. Practice? I don't want to practice. I don't want to schedule practice. I want this to feel like fun, feel like a game. And while I agree with that, it's supposed to feel like that. If you don't practice, you're not going to get better. But if you do bad practice, you're actually going to get worse. So someone like me who works 9 to 5, who has this YouTube channel, who does coaching, who has a girlfriend, who has a family, who's trying to move out. Like, I'm doing a lot of things in my life right now. So for me, even I'm playing in Worlds next month, I cannot play every day for hours. So I have to schedule practice. What does this mean? 2 to 3 times a week. It's like going to the gym. It's like studying for a test, right? Like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I play for an hour and a half. Nothing crazy. Just 2 hours here, 2 hours there. Committed time blocks for you to play. You playing while you're at work on your lunch break is not committed time, right? But committed time is you at your computer before you go to bed for an hour and a half, while you're watching a VGC YouTube channel on the side, like a team report, one of my videos, and you're playing, right? Start small, just get started. That's the main thing. And one thing I really want to tell you is while you're doing this process, I said you can be watching something. I have it right here. Again, guys, I created this for you to follow. It's step by step on how I would do it and how I did do it to qualify for Worlds. Again, comment Worlds and I'll send this to you for free. But I want you to only be watching best of 3 open team sheet play. This is because this is the format you're going to be playing, right? All Pokemon competitive VGC is best of 3, where you have to win 2 out of 3 matches. But you can actually see the team your opponent's playing and they can see yours. So when you're going to be watching people battle, don't watch Aaron Cybertron Zhang and don't watch ranked ladder matches because that's not going to be helping you. What you should be watching is the official Pokemon stream or Michael Kelsch's videos or any kind of content that the players are both engaging in best of 3 open team sheet play. Because this is how you're going to see how to get better, what tendencies to learn. You're going to be learning the skill that you're actually playing. So, that's my pro tip here is take the time to watch people play the game. And one thing I'll say is my last thing about the commitment phase is write down your goal somewhere. Mine's in my bedroom. Every time I wake up, I literally can see it. I'm not going to say what my goal is. Actually, I will say what my goal is. My goal is for this year was to make the World Championships. Next year, my goal is to help at least 5 people make it. I know that sounds ambitious. I know that's crazy. And part of that is showing myself that I can compete at Worlds. Because if I can compete this year and do well at Worlds, then maybe some of you will trust me to help you get there. That's what I really want. I want this to be more than just myself. So that's my goal. Might be cheesy. And as I always say, your goal will become McFree. Right? Your goal will become McFree. You can make it happen. I genuinely believe that. So the next thing I want to talk about is phase 2, right? So, now you're committed. Now you're locked in. Now you know what events you're going to. Now you know what your goals are. You have to be committed to start. And you did that. My second piece of advice is where this might be controversial. I disagree with a lot of players. I disagree with a lot of advice. I think the most important thing you can do in Pokemon VGC is stick with your comfort, what you are naturally good with, and what resonates with you and what has worked. Because let me tell you something, every time I chose the most common meta teams and ripped the best teams from the best players, I lost. Every time I used last minute teams that I thought were good to counter certain things before a regional tournament, I lost. Every time I strayed away from my strengths, away from what I was good at, I lost. So I had to figure out, well, how can I perform? How can I make day 2? How can I top cut? How can I beat the best players? And that's when I thought of something that I use in my normal life, which is, I'm not the smartest person when it comes to book smarts. I never had the highest GPA. My family is of an Indian background. A lot of my cousins are all insanely smart, doctors, lawyers, biomedical engineering, finance. And me, I'm more creative. And I learned that the hard way when I was in college. I was really failing a lot of my classes in finance and science and all this stuff. And I had to figure out what my strengths were. Because if I was going to make it out of college and get a dream job for myself or a career that I could be proud of, I had to lean on my strengths. And to me, that was human connection, that was networking, that was high effort, that was convincing. These are things I had to lean on, and it transformed my college career. That's when I thought, maybe I have to apply that same idea here. Don't just do what's best, do what's best for me. What's objectively best might be being a neurosurgeon or becoming a super lucrative business owner or renting out Airbnb business. But for me, my strength was communication, persuasiveness. So I had to find my hole that way. In Pokemon, it's the same thing, Maybe right now, Calyrex Shadow and Zamazenta is the best team. Maybe people using weather teams are the best team. People using Incineroar, best Pokemon, are the best players or the best team. But if that's not my strength, it's not going to work. And I know that because I tried to do that for a long time and it didn't work. My worst regional performances are when I tried to use other people's common teams that they showed me were good and it didn't work for me. So I had to think, well, what's my style? And if you're a fan of the channel, you definitely know this, but there's one Pokemon and one style of play that I love above everything else. It is Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl has the ability to set up Light Screen and Reflect and click Thunder Wave over and over and over again. I like playing Prankster screens. That is my strategy, okay? Bulky, controlling the tempo, defensive, with a little bit of luck I can pour into my favor. And let me just say, once I committed to this strategy, I started cooking. You're gonna think this is crazy, but I played 5 tournaments this year. All 5 tournaments I had Grimmsnarl. Not only did I have a winning record in all 5 tournaments, I finished at least top 256 in all 5 of them. But you might say that's only top 256. Like, how good is that? Well, in 4 out of the 5, I made it to the second day. I made it to day 2, meaning I started off at least 6-2 in 4 out of these 5 tournaments. And then on top of that, in 2 of those tournaments, not only did I make it to the day 2, the top 80 or 100 players, I made it to the top 8 twice. I've beaten the best players in the world using my strategy, using my strengths. I beat Wolf Glick, the best player in the world, who ended up winning that entire tournament. I beat Federico Camporesi, who, again, maybe the best European player. He won the entire North American International Championships. I beat Joseph Ugarte, the #1 CP owner in North America. My point is that I did all of this once I found my specific style and strategy, and I committed to it. I made my strength even more amplified, and I won 4 out of my 5 local tournaments. I won 4 of them. 1 in Massachusetts, 1 in Connecticut, 1 in Philadelphia, 1 in Delaware, and I finished second in 1 in New Jersey. So you're going to ask me, well, Darsh, what does comfort mean? Well, on the guide, if you look at it, what comfort means is playing a style that feels natural to you. It means repping the same core or the same feel of the team, the same strategy across multiple events. Not just one time and switching to something else you're comfortable with. If you try something new every single time, then you're not building comfort. You're building a feeling of change. Every time you're about to master it, you leave it and go to the next thing. That's not good. And what will happen is you will start to learn your damage rolls, speed tiers, and matchups by heart, right? Because the more you're doing, you're absorbing more knowledge. You're absorbing players' tendencies. You're seeing how they react. You're seeing the most common things. You have a higher sample of data that is feeding your decision making, which is something that's already your strength. So one quote really stuck by me. I heard it years ago, and it's very simple. If you're doing something that works, do more of it. If you're doing something that doesn't work, do something different. So what does this mean? It means that if you have a certain strategy that's always working for you, do more of it. If it's not working, then you should do something different, right? So for me, I was trying to use the best teams. It wasn't working, so what happened? I found out that I liked my specific strategy that I've always used, and it started working. I started playing well. I started enjoying it. I was compounding interest. I did more, and I started to win more and more and more. And you're asking, well, why does this work? Because comfort equals confidence, and confidence equals consistency, right? If you know more about your tools than anyone else, you will win more, period. You know things that they don't. You have more experience than them. That's it. And what I will say is, as a growing player, whatever journey you're in, whether you're a new player, whether you're the best player in the world, wherever you are watching this video, is if you try to learn 10 different skills, basketball, football, swimming, jumping jacks, tennis, they all might be sports, but you're not going to be amazing at all of them. But if you only were practicing basketball 10 different times, you're going to be better at basketball than you were at all these other sports, right? That's how it is for Pokemon. Try 10 different teams across a month. How good are you really getting? Practice one team for a whole month, you might make the World Championships. That's what happened for me. So, yeah, so you're going to ask me, well, how do I do this? How do I even figure out what my best strength was? Well, think about this for a second. What teams have you done your best with? Was it with a setup Pokemon? Setup Iron Hands? Setup Calyrex Shadow? Was it best with damage reduction? With Ting Lu, or Wo-Chien, or Grimmsnarl, or Incineroar? Was it with Rain? With Pelipper, or Kyogre? Was it with Sun? Torkoal, Groudon? What worked best for you in the past? Because if you're like me, like we're all players, we all know our best moment, what felt the best, what regulation, what rule set we like the most. Find that, remember that, okay? And then write down 1 to 2 strategies that you enjoyed from that experience and that performed well. So this can be, okay, maybe you I like Rain. I've done well with Rain. Well, okay, what kind of strategies with Rain worked for you? Was it Screens Rain? Was it Tailwind Rain? Was it Trick Room Rain? That's what I want you to do, okay? So then step 2, now you know which versions of that you like. So I want you to pick that style. So is it bulky setup with screens? Is it control and disruption with Encore Disable? Is it hyper offense, fast tailwind? Pick your comfort style, right? And trust it. The next thing I want you to do is not just build a new team. Do not just build a new team, right? What I really want you to do is research high-level teams with that style. So in the guide, you can actually click these buttons and it will take you exactly to where you can find this. But you have to be able to find your concept in other players that are doing well. You say, well, how do I do that? Well, Darsh, you didn't do that. You invented your Elite Seed Calyrex Ice team that's dominated the meta for months. Well, you'd be wrong about that because in Regulation G, when I first came back to the game after I told you I was not playing, I looked for Grimmsnarl. And the one team that I kept seeing was one by Mr. Joseph Ugarte, the top North American player in the world right now. He's a beast, multiple-time regional champion, and professional player and coach. Why would I look at his team? Because he had 2 Pokemon I was extremely familiar with, extremely. One, the main icon, Grimmsnarl. I have used Grimmsnarl for many tournaments since I first started playing Sword and Shield. It was my OG. Light Screen, Reflect, Thunder Wave, plus 1 attack. Guess what? He had that on his team. But second, he had Iron Hands. We use Iron Hands, Darsh. Since when did you like Iron Hands? Well, my first ever day 2, my first ever top cut was a few years ago, back when top cut was the top 32 players, where I played against the hottest player in the world, Emilio Forbes, in my top 32 match. I went 8-2 in this tournament that I traveled to by myself, my second ever tournament in this game, And I day 2'd with Iron Hands and Grimmsnarl. So wait. Then I see another player in this whole new rule set, a top player using Iron Hands and Grimmsnarl. Maybe I have to look into that. That's what I did. So I copied his team. I learned it. I strategized it. I theorized how it could maybe work. And, I didn't have his EV spreads. I didn't have all the different tools in the niches. But I found the moves, the items, the abilities, the Terra types, and I used it. And I practiced. And what happened? My first tournament, I went 5-3. But guess what? I had a winning record in my first ever tournament playing with it. But not only did I do that at a regional tournament, I used it online on Pokemon Showdown, and I got to the 3rd best, higher than I ever got. So what did that tell me? This team can be something, but the question is that most players will have this experience and say, you know what, 5-3 was not good enough. I don't think this is for me. I'm going to go away from it. But what did I think? 5-2 is pretty good. I just came back. It's a brand new team. I've never used Miraidon in my whole life. I never used Ditto or Volcarona. I went 5-3. I got to top 3 on Pokemon Showdown, best of 3 open team sheet ladder. Maybe I should look into this more. And what happened after that was crazy because I literally went my very next event and I got top 8. Only player who knocked me out, the player who won the entire regional. So my advice is, again, how do I do this? Go to these websites, labmouse.com or Victory Road. Find from a recent tournament a strategy that is using the components that you like. What I will say is if you don't see it on there, it probably means it's not a well-performing strategy. So you have to rethink it a little bit. But the second you see it, grab 1 to 2 to 3 of these Poképastes and copy and paste that sheet and build it into Pokemon Showdown. Change some things to whatever your liking is. I recommend you don't change too much, but build the team and start to build it and get used to it. Because comfort, guys, is key. And, now you're asking, well, now I have my team. I've committed, Darsh. I'm committed. I know my goal. I know what events I'm going to go to. I know where I want to be. I know my goal. Now, Darsh, I found my comfort strategy. I like balance. I know I like balance. I found a team that uses balance and Pokemon I've done well with, like Rillaboom. Okay, so now you have your foundation set up, right? You have now got all of your ingredients from the grocery store. Well, now it's time to build that damn cake. Cook that food. Sauce it up. And that's the last part in the CCC method, which is consistency. So, in my opinion, this is where the gap happens, right? Because most players fall off, like myself included, when they had no plan. Let me guess. You play Pokemon Showdown until you fall asleep at 2 in the morning. You play Pokemon Ranked Ladder, and you always say, this is my last one. That's bad. I know I'm saying it's bad, but I did it myself for years, and it did not make me better. But what will make you better is when you use this method I'm going to show you. I invented this, in my opinion. I've never heard anyone else talk about it, but I invented my mini regional method. You're going to say, Darsh, what's a mini regional? I can't go to a regional championship. I live in Denmark. How do I travel to a regional? Well, I set up a way for you to practice a real-life regional tournament at home that does not take you 9 hours. It'll take you maybe 2, maybe 1. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did this because this format is the most consistent way to get better fast under a time constraint. If you're like me, full-time job, family, girlfriend, YouTube, you have a lot going on. So this is a proven system that I have used for months, for literal months, almost a year now, to beat Wolf, to make top 8, to play on stream, to play in the World Championships. When I tell you guys, you're going to hear this thing, this is crazy, I play less than 5 to 6 hours a week. And I'm not the smartest player at all. But I've done this over and over and over with my personal teams that are my strategy with my goals in mind, and it has transformed my Pokemon experience. So, how do you do the mini regional method? Well, step 1 is you're going to choose 8 real opponents. Well, you'll say, Darsh, I don't know 8 people. There's a lot of ways to do this. One, the easiest way is by going to PokemonShowdown.com, going to the Regulation I Best of 3 VGC ladder, and playing 8 matches on there. 8. Okay? Or you go on Limitless.com, online tournament, you go there. Or you have friends, or you're in a Discord server. Like, guys, comment in my video if you want to practice with other players, because this is a space to do that. Find 8 people in a community that you can do this with, right? In my comments, in my community posts, in my live streams, or on Pokemon Showdown, or on Limitless, whatever it is. Find a way to play 8 best of 3s, okay? Why am I saying 8? Because at a Pokemon official event, the Pokemon World Championships, the Pokemon International Championships, all the Pokemon Regional Championships, you will be playing 8 rounds of best of 3 Pokemon battles. That's what you're going to be doing. So, what I want you to do is play 8 of these matches and just play, right? Take your time, focus. Like, don't be like watching TV on here, watching YouTube over here, using the bathroom. Don't do that, please. But play 8 rounds of focus Pokemon, right? You're going to practice, you don't have the time, so enjoy it. Have fun, practice, listen to music, whatever you got to do. And what I'll say is, if you go 6-2 or better, like you would at a regional, there's day 2, which is 3 rounds of Swiss. Play those 3 rounds. Oh my God, did you win all 3 of them? If not, stop. You're done. Your tournament is over. But if you went 9-2 or better, which is insane, then play 5 more rounds of single elimination until you lose or win all 5 of them, right? So we do this to recreate the Pokemon tournament environment, right? If you want to go to the highest level, you have to practice at the level that they're all playing at. It's best of 3 Swiss, nothing else. No BS ladder grinding, best of 1. It's a waste of your time. If you have a time constraint, you want to get better, this is what you have to do. And you're going to say, well, Darsh, well, that's easy. I play 8 games all the time. I play 10 games all the time. But what you're not doing is tracking your wins, right? You're not learning. You can't watch your games back. You're not getting all the data out of this. Well, what I'll tell you is, I'll put the link in the description, is that after you finish your matches, track your wins, losses, and matchups by using this tool called PASRS by BauerDad VGC on Twitter. This tool, again, if you download this link, and you download it, I'll send you comment the word Worlds in the comments. I will send you this, and you can download it. You can literally click on this. It'll take you to the website where you can download this. This is all done for you. But when you do this, you can literally upload your Pokemon Showdown match. Click upload, copy, paste it into this document, and it'll show you how. I have a whole video going over that. If you want to watch it right here. I'll put a card up here. I'll put it in the description too, and it'll show you how you can literally always just upload the link to your match, and after you finish the mini regional, it'll tell you the highest winning Pokemon you used, your worst matchups, your best matchups. It'll tell you all of your most clicked moves. It'll tell you what Pokemon get brought, what Pokemon don't get brought. It'll give you all of this data. So every time you finish your regional, you're learning more about your team. And you're going to say, well, out of 12 matches against Calyrex Ice Rider, I lost 8 of them. So what does that tell you? That you have to make your team better or practice more into that. So every time you're now competing, you're having more focused practice, right? So you're going to say, well, Darsh, how often do I do this? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, because you should do this every 2 to 4 days based on how much time you have. For me, I don't do it every 2 days in a row. I commit 1 day to playing, 1 day to everything else in my life, or reviewing and studying and practicing or team building or improving my team or watching content, whatever that is, right? For me, again, my life gets busy. So I wrote right here, I do 2 to 3 of these a week. But with this method, it's always intentional. That's the key. Intentional practice, right? That focus will carry you more than anything else. I swear, you at home right now could play 1,000 ladder matches. I could play 30 in the next 2 months. But I might be better than you because it's more focused. It's more intentional. I'm learning after every single match. I'm not just randomly spamming and playing, right? So, yeah, again, my message really is, this is me on stream, guys, by the way. Stop spamming ladder, be intentional, be smart, because trust me, this changed everything for me. And that's where, I go into my bonus advice for you, which is the McFree mentality. Play like you belong, right? Because let's get one thing straight. You belong in this game. You might have imposter syndrome, just like I did. Went to my first Pokemon tournament. I'm like, oh my god, they all are talking about the game. I have no idea what they're talking about. Why are all my favorite YouTubers here? Why are they all so scary? Why are they all so good at this game? But like, screw that. You have to believe you belong. Because without the right mentality, the game will leave you behind. And so will your competition. And that's where the word McFree comes in. Because McFree means you are a beast. You are a mentality monster. The McFree mentality is a mentality that I have built over time. It has helped me survive the chaos of practice, of tournament days, of getting paired into world champions over and over again. It's the McFree mentality. It's genuine confidence, not fake hype, not being disrespectful to your opponents. It's earned through preparation and repetition. You earn this. And I'm going to tell you right now, I wrote all of this down and how to do this, but, you know, for me, it's knowing that when you lose, you still belong, and that I will beat you always. Again, you're not always going to win, of course, but it's the idea of, you know, I'll use an example of this. Is let's say, imagine you're at a Pokemon Regional. This happened to me at the Peoria Regional Championships about 2.5 years ago. My round one pairing is going to say multi-time regional champion Colin Heyer, the Battle Room, as you guys know, who is one of the funniest, swaggest, but best fucking players, right? And I was like, yo, there's no way I have to play against this caliber of player at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's what I used to think. But I had my McFree mentality, and I said, you know what? This is not good to think this way. So many of my friends, when they get a good player, they're like, oh, I'm playing a top player. But what do? I look at it and I say, okay. This is an opportunity to show the best players that I belong. Show the world I belong. If I can't beat the best, how am I going to be the best? And this does not apply to only the players that you know their name. This is everyone. Every single pairing you ever have, you should go into that thinking that you're going to win. Always. Because the mentality is an advantage in itself, right? If you're not confident, you are putting yourself at a nervous state, a nervous disadvantage. You're going to be not making the most optimal plays because you're going to be playing and acting scared. You're going to give your opponents too much respect. At the end of the day, they're another player who's playing the same game as you. So you might as well have another advantage, which is your mentality. So what does this mean? Trusting your intuition, believing you can beat them, and having that mentality of, oh my God, I'm going to cook them. They're McFree. I did this myself. It's been able to let me beat players like Wolf Glick, Joe Ugarte, Toller Webb, James Evans, Shohei Kimura, Fede Camporesi, Joe Castaglia, your favorite players. I have beat them by not being nervous, by looking at them as an opportunity. Okay? And you can do this by really just focusing and truly believing in yourself. And what I'll say is, by this point, you might say, well, gosh, I'm nervous. I have anxiety. I have a little bit of panic attacks. I'm a little bit depressed. But what I'm going to tell you is that you earned the right to be this confident, right? You've been practicing for so long. You've been intentional about your time. You have these big goals in your head and you've been working towards them. You have every right to be confident. So do it. Because your play, you've spent all this money and traveled all this way and practiced so much to be in the exact position you are in now. And I'm telling you, once I went from being a soft, scared player to being an absolute mental monster, I started dominating everyone, literally everyone. So guys, what does this mean, right? Like, how can you, my next page is, how do you put it into practice, right? How do you actually put the McFree mentality into practice? Well, to calm your nerves, I'm going to give you a quick advice guide is, between every round in a regional, this is what I do. I finish my match, win or lose, I clear my head. I listen to music. I go outside of the venue. I use the bathroom. I wash my face, and I do something non-Pokemon related. I call my mom. I watch a YouTube video about something funny, about sports. It's having the ability to always be locked in. And I go over this step by step in this guide. Let me know if you're here. But overall, McFree means a couple of things, right? You paid the price in prep. You did the work. Now, go collect what's yours. Walk into that match. Walk into that venue like it's already yours. Because if you keep going, and you keep pushing through, you'll get there. I'll tell you a story. I went to Charlotte Regionals 2 years ago. This is my second regional of the year. I missed San Antonio because my grandma had passed. She died the week of San Antonio Regionals, and I could not go. So I didn't go. 2 or 3 weeks later was Charlotte Regionals. And guess what? My grandpa died. My best friend in the entire world. He passed away. And I go to this regional, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go because I can't just be stuck in this sad space. I'm going to go love this game, let it take me away, and I'm going to do my best. I started off that tournament 2-2. And so many people would, blame it on all these things that I'm dealing with, saying it's really hard. I felt really upset. But what did I do after every round? You might think this is crazy, but I washed my face. I listened to music that reminded me of my grandpa. I have embraced my emotions. I locked in. And then when I sat down, I said, I'm doing this because I'm here for a reason. I own this. This is for me to do. And I made day 2. So do that. It's yours. Whatever you're dealing with, your life, this is your moment to be present. So be present. Do it for whatever reason you want, but lock in. Do whatever you have to do. Every match, if you lose, get over it, reset, come back. If you win, feel confident, reset, come back. And you can do this. So, guys, your final checklist for qualifying for Worlds or winning your first tournament, whatever your goal is to commit. Set a clear goal. Block that time off on your calendar. Keep it real. Lock in. Next, comfort, right? Choose your style that works for you. Build your core and master your matchups. That's how you do it. You're going to say, well, now how do I do that? By being consistent, right? Use the mini regional method. I do nothing else. I know I don't play ladder senselessly. I only do the mini regionals. Track your prep with the PASRS doc and get those reps in. And lastly is the bonus. The CCCM is the mindset, right? Trust yourself, stay grounded, and play with purpose. So, guys, this is, I think, I have one last page here where, again, if you want to know more from me, it says next episode, subscribe to me on YouTube. I answer questions on speakpipe.com/darktypedarsh, where I answer them on my live streams every Wednesday. And DM me when you qualify or when you achieve your goal or when you're going to start to get your goal, right? Email me at darktypedarsh@darktypedarsh.com because I believe in you. Truly, I did not believe in myself until I started to, and I am now here. I'm here 5 years later. I made my dreams genuinely come true, which now give me even more dreams. And I look forward to making so many more of these videos for you. I want to just give you my honesty, my authenticity, because this is possible. I wrote one last message that I want to read to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to dive into this guide and listen to me. It means the world, literally, right? Worlds. But your dedication to becoming the Pokemon VGC best player you can is exactly what fuels me, what fuels you, to be the best we can be and live a life we want. This is just the beginning. There's so much more to come. More insights, more strategies, more memories, but more important than all, more passion for the game we all love. Stay sharp, stay hungry, and most of all, keep making your opponents and your mentality McFree. Because the path to greatness is just getting started, and we're walking in it together. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you want this entire 11-page guide, you want this entire thing, comment the word Worlds, because this is going to come to you live for free. You can print it out if you want to. And let's just say, I've not even put the video, I've not even announced it yet at all. I have a challenge for you as well, where I'm gonna make another video about this new thing I made, which I think is gonna change the entire landscape of practice in Pokemon VGC. The VGC Badge Challenge. But we'll talk about that another time. Hope you liked the video. Let me know in the comments if you really like this. Again, download this. Please download this guide by commenting the word Worlds, and I'll send it to you. Other than that, I'm here for you guys. I appreciate you. If you want to watch my last video where I literally sit down and talk with one of the best players in the world who also gives advice, watch this video with Brady Smith right here. But if also you want to really watch me break down bad advice and give you better ones, especially about really controversial topics, then watch this video. But please guys, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Been Dark Type Darsh. Peace.